Coming up on Vegas Nation Game Day, the final prep for the Broncos. Denver taking the trip down to Vegas, looking for a season sweep of the Raiders, while the Silver and Black look for their first win in 6 games. We got an outlook on all the action, including a brief look at Denver, and we talk some defense, betting odds, and more. Vegas Nation Game Day starts right now.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Game Day. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
Hello, welcome into Vegas Nation Game Day. I'm Dominic Lavoie. So straight off the top, we'll swing things over to Vinny Bonsignore for his outlook on the game.
Well, the Raiders got a little bit of bad news, but potentially some good news as they head into their game Sunday against the Denver Broncos. Looks like Maxx Crosby is going to be able to play. He missed the last 2 days of practice with a knee injury, but it sounds like from Pete Carroll that Maxx Crosby is expected to play. Did you think anything differently with Maxx Crosby? On the other hand, no Michael Mayer, the tight end, for a second straight week with an ankle injury, and Dante Thornton, the wide receiver, is out while serving in concussion protocol after taking a big hit against the Chargers. So they're going to be down their starting wide receiver and a starting tight end. That really elevates Jack Bech, the fellow rookie wide receiver from TCU, who played 27 snaps last week against the Chargers. I would expect that that's going to trend upward on Sunday against the Broncos. So if you want to key in on some young players, Jack Bech, the wide receiver, is certainly one to do just that. In addition, young players at guard, most likely for the Raiders. Jordan Meredith and Dylan Parham, still some question on their availability for Sunday. So Antonio Mafi and Caleb Rogers will likely either start at right guard and left guard, or they'll continue their rotation at right guard, which is what they did on Sunday against the Chargers, and both look pretty good, so that bodes well. So keep an eye on the young linemen, keep an eye on young Jack Bech. This is probably a game that the Raiders aren't going to win. Remember, they made it close against the Broncos last month in Denver on a Thursday night. I don't really expect that to happen. I'm Vinny Bonsignore for Vegas Nation.
Well, Maxx Crosby had himself a week off the field. First, he and his wife's foundation, the Maxx Crosby Foundation, was honored by the Las Vegas City Council for their efforts in Las Vegas. On top of that, Crosby was selected as the Raiders nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. Crosby in the locker room at practice on the nomination.
There's a lot of people that I look up to and that have helped me along the way. You know, for me, I've always wanted to just be a sponge of, information and learn and take from the greats. And, if you want to be like the greats, you got to do what the greats do. And I've constantly had that mindset, and I still do to this day. I'm constantly learning and figuring out, how to become the best version of myself.
Now, the last time these two squads met, the Raiders lost by just 3 points. Granted, that was after Daniel Carlson missed a potential game-tying field goal late in the game, but the Raiders defense held quarterback Bo Nix and his offense to just 10 points. Nix completed 16 of his 28 pass attempts. He threw 1 touchdown and 2 picks, both to Caillou Blue Kelly. Defensive coordinator Patrick Graham on Thursday speaking about how that could carry into this matchup.
Each week you start over, but definitely because it was such a short period of time since we played them. So, familiarity with the first whatever many games, 8 or 9 games, and then getting caught up on the last few plus our game. So it helps a little bit, especially when you're going back on certain situations like, backed up when you're doing the whole season, red area when you're doing the whole season. You have some familiarity with it, so you're not starting over with like 50 plays that you got to look at. So, but definitely helps.
Now, staying on the defense, the Raiders have a healthy Malcolm Koonce in 2025. The young defensive lineman missed all of 2024 after suffering a knee injury right before the season started. Now, he came back healthy this year, and so far he's racked up 22 tackles, 10 of those solo, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble. PG speaks on Koonce's 2025 season. When
you talk about sacks, most of the time it's coming from a combination of coverage and pressure. So I think, he'd probably be the first one to tell you he's got to be thanking the guys behind him covering, so that's one thing. And then more sacks are made in terms of just relentless pursuit to the ball. Like you talk about the one in Cleveland where he took it up high, countered back. That was, effort play. So, like, again, the health thing, you have to talk to him about that because, when he's up, he's up. But I think it's a combination of the coverage. I think it's a combination of just that relentless pursuit and maybe getting more comfortable and just, again, as we accumulate games, we have more awareness of what they're doing because nothing really changes that much. So, but he's an aware football player.
Now for the hard count, Heidi Fang joins the show with some stats to watch out for this week.
Thanks, Dom. It's time to get into the numbers as the Raiders head into their Week 14 matchup with the Broncos. Let's take a closer look at the grades for some of the offensive linemen. Rookie Caleb Rogers made his first appearance for the Silver and Black last week and earned a Pro Football Focus grade of 67.1. If you ignore the number of snaps played, he is the top-ranked Raiders guard. His grade included a score of 51.7 in protections on passing plays and 68.6 in run blocking. For Antonio Mafi, who rotated with Rogers at right guard against the Chargers, he had a pass block grade of 84.5, but a run block grade of 50.7. And before I wrap it up, I'd like to note that linebacker Devin White leads the team in tackles this season. After surpassing 100 tackles in Week 11, White's 103 tackles are second most in Raiders history for a player through their first 11 games. I'm Heidi Fang, and that's the hard count. Now back to you, Dom.
So it's time for a quick break, but when we come back, Todd Dewey joins the show to offer some betting lines for this week, and Adam Hill flips the field with a look at the Broncos. Stay put.
DNR House of Diamonds is Las Vegas's elite private office jeweler. We specialize in natural and lab-grown loose diamonds, engagement rings, and custom design. If you're looking for lab-grown diamonds, we have one of the largest selections at the best prices in Las Vegas. We make luxury affordable every day.
All right, now to flip the field, here's Adam Hill.
When the Raiders play the Broncos on Sunday, they will be going up against one of the best defenses in the entire league. The offense, not so much for the Broncos. Defensively, though, they really get after the quarterback. They really make things difficult, both in the run game and the pass game, to get anything going. The Raiders experienced that in the first meeting. Really couldn't gain anything or generate much of an offense, although they haven't been able to do that against anyone. But they found out just how good this Broncos defense is, especially a guy like Nick Bonito. But they've got players all over the field with plenty of talent. But offensively, this is a challenged team. Bo Nix, very flawed as a quarterback. He finds ways to win here and there, but throughout a game, you'll find many mistakes, and the Raiders saw that in the first game. They just weren't able to take advantage. They do have some talent and some weapons around him, but Bo Nix just isn't an elite quarterback, so the offense hasn't been elite this season. It's the defense that's carrying the Broncos, and that's going to give the Raiders a lot of trouble.
Now, what do the sportsbooks have to say about this week's game? Here's Todd Dewey with some betting numbers.
The Broncos opened as 8-point favorites over the Raiders before sharp money on the Silver and Black caused the line to dip to 7.5. The total also has seen some sharp money on the under, causing the number to dip from 41 to 40. An oddsmaker told me that pro bettors are probably banking on another close game between division rivals after the Raiders covered as 9.5-point underdogs in a 10-7 loss at Denver, which has 8 one-score wins this season. But the betting public is all over the Broncos, who account for 90% of spread bets at one sportsbook. Ashton Genty pays plus 124 to score a touchdown in this one, and Brock Bowers pays plus 190 to score a TD. Geno Smith is a minus 225 favorite to throw a touchdown pass and minus 157 to throw an interception.
That'll do it here for Vegas Nation Gameday Week 14. Thank you all for hanging out with us once again as we get set for the Broncos game. Make sure to stay connected with us on social media at Vegas Nation and on the web at vegasnation.com. Plus, check out the First and 10 post-game podcast after the game on Sunday. But for now, this is goodbye. Enjoy the action, and I'll see you all next time.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Gameday. Presented by DNR House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.